will Ballyea decide to put DC in full forward? And I think Barry Coughlin is probably the natural matchup there. Aaron Griffin, he's a very tasty, pacey inside forward. And I think Ian Kenny will generally pick up that type of player. Mossy Gavin might drift a little bit. Then you're looking at, I mean, one of the things that Ballyea would have said is that they were probably cleaned out in the half-forward line the last day. They didn't win enough high ball. Now, O'Connor is obviously a very big man there. Now, Mossy Gavin isn't necessarily. Tony Kelly can win a high ball, but I don't know, maybe Gary Brennan would be pushed up there to be a half-forward option. Maybe Lillis, but there's talk that maybe Lillis would go back. Lillis or somebody else would go back and maybe man-mark Pádraig Mahoney, who's the conductor of the orchestra, to allow Jack Brown to sit in front of Fitzgerald and Hutchinson. What are your thoughts? Is there anything that stands out to you that you think could work well for either side, or anything just in general that sticks out to you?
Just looking at Tony, because he's always one of the first people you're going to have to go to. If you look at the Ballygunner half back line in Ronan Power, Philip Mahoney and Shane O'Sullivan, there's no obvious marker, shall we say, for Tony there. So is it a case of potentially, Ian Gavin or Ian Kenny being pushed out potentially to pick up Kelly? Or is it a potential that Paddy Levy would sit back and pick up Kelly? Probably unlikely. He didn't really do that job the last day that we kind of thought he might in around Peter Casey. Definitely not in the first half anyway. Casey was definitely floating around. So who do you think is Kenny coming out the more likely matchup there?
Yeah, I think it's a fair point, and Richard Hogan makes the same. When Shane O'Sullivan not being near Tony Kelly, wondering if Ian Kenny might follow him. Yeah, so you've both made the same point, and I've rejigged it around to reflect that. Ian Kenny did a great job on Owen Cody last year in the All-Ireland final. And if you can do a good job on Owen Cody, I'm sure you can feel like you can take on anybody, even though Kelly's one of the best going.